Hey dudes and chicks and neither flows don't apply to you. Welcome to Big Frost Time. My name is Katie. Today, I am finally going to be doing the swatch comparisons of all of the colors in the Ellis Atlantis palette by Blend Bunny and the other Blend Bunny palettes. The color story looks like this. There was a lot of, concerns, people not really wanting to buy it because they felt like if you have all the other Blend Bunny palettes, then you don't need it. And so we're just going to see. We're just going to fuck around a little bit and find out a little bit. So if you guys are interested in seeing the swatch comparisons from all the Blend Bunny palettes I have now, I don't have Forget Me Not and I don't have All Dolled Up. So I don't have the Sickly Sweet palette either. So that might be a game changer, honestly, as far as the colors that are in there. There's probably a lot of colors in the Sickly Sweet palette that could be compared. So I just wasn't drawn to it because all pastel palettes are, I don't know. Honestly, I've considered getting it since then. So anyways, if you guys are interested in seeing the swatches of everything that I have except the Sickly Sweet, then hang out. I'm not sure exactly how I want to do this. I feel like I should go through each individual palette and see if there's any similarities. That just seems like it would be what's easiest instead of me choosing every color out of the Ellis Atlantis palette. I'm not sure. Let me think. Yeah, that's definitely how I'm going to do it. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Surge palette, and there's really only a couple. There's the color Maybe. Could be sort of close to Seclusion. I'm just gonna give these a little swatchy poo. And so it might be close to the color Seclusion, so I'm gonna try that. And I'm just going to tell you right now, the swatch of the Seclusion is way better, but you can see that it's like not the same. Okay, and then just quickly, I'm going to go through and I'm going to see if there's anything. I'm just going to tell you guys right now, I don't think that there's anything in the Dollhouse that's comparable to this. So, and also, I'm not going to be doing the bottom row of the neutrals. That doesn't matter to me. There's grays and browns and blacks in every palette. So, that's not those don't count. So, I'm just doing the color blocks. And I just want to see really quickly. Okay, so this is the color Burn in the Machina. Again, the formula seems a little bit different than both of these, actually. Close. Nothing in the Lure. Self-Love, maybe? Well, that's probably closer to Perception. And then nothing in this that's like that. Okay, and then the other one that I was going to say is maybe the color Alive. But quite frankly, I don't see anything in here that is that color. These greens are all pretty lively, and this down here is way more grungy. Okay, so I'm back. I had to snap my daughter. Now it's super late. Okay, so basically the verdict is there's nothing else in this palette that looks anything like anything that's in the... I'm pretty sure I can sum this up. Also, as you can see, the purples in the Primal palette are literally nothing like the purples in this palette. It's just... So, we're just gonna... eliminate that right now. And then also I feel like, okay, so the orange in the Primal palette... this formula really is different than... So this is Untamed in the Primal palette. And this is Nuclear in the Ellis palette. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this Ellis palette is it's like a very different formula. And to tell you the truth, I feel like it swatches really well, but I could tell when I did this look that the formula is maybe different. I don't know if the formula is different, but I think that the shadows are pressed a little bit more. I didn't have the same experience with the purples in this palette as I have with most Blend Bunny palettes. And the swatches are way better, but the formula feels like not quite as blendable and pigmented, honestly. Like that's it, and maybe it's because it's more tightly pressed, but that's it. That's all I got. And I did do warning out of this, didn't I? Let's just go like this. This is warning. And yeah, that's nothing like... I thought maybe that might be similar to the color Seclusion, but it's not even close. It looks really close in the... When you're looking at it in the pan, this is the color that I'm talking about right here, the one that I just did all the swatches of. But on the arm, those are all really like a neon red, and that color warning is actually really pink. So they look similar in the pan, but they are not. And then what else? Ecliptic in the Ellis palette. Ooh, that's really, that's probably the best swatch I've done so far out of this palette. Wow, that's crazy. And then Lethal in the Primal palette. Not even close, honestly. So that's a hard no. And then the greens, I just want to make sure there's nothing anywhere else. See if there's an orange in the Machina palette. There isn't. Is there a maroon? No. No orange or maroon in the Lure palette. Nothing even close in the Grunge palette. Let me see. And the oranges in the Blends palette are really nothing to compare. They're all like pretty light, and then there's that pumpkin shade. Now, let's try this Toxin. I'm gonna lower that so we can put the, oh, I love that. And then it's really the blends that I think we're gonna get into some shit here, but this is, oh yeah, those are very, very similar. This is Specimen from the Ellis Atlantis palette. Yeah, those are almost the same color. So in all actuality, so far, that's the only one that I've swatched that is so stinking similar. Oh, actually, is that true? There's nothing really in the... There's a yellow in here, but it's not... This color Voltage is way more... Okay, now I'm going into the Sugar and Grunge palette, and I'm just going to see if there's anything... I guess maybe Baggy Jeans and... Now I'm gonna try Vortex, but honestly, I don't think that they're the same. Not even close. I'm not even gonna give that the double. And then Candy we'll try. I guess Candy's a little bit more like that, but still it's more minty green. And then I'm gonna use, I changed the battery and didn't push play. Okay, so I'm not sure where I was, but you can see these greens don't even compare. This is the Deep out of Lure, and this is Nebula out of this. Not even, it's obvious that the Deep is like way darker. Now I'm doing Glitch out of the Machina palette. Sorry, you guys. I thought I pushed play. And this is Presence out of the Ellis palette. Yeah, not even close. This is Figment out of the Ellis palette. Way warmer. So, and actually these two pinks look like they could be similar. So this is Enamored out of the Machina palette. I love this color so much. And this is Entrancement out of the Ellis palette. Not the same. I think that what's going on here is the colors themselves actually look like the same in the pan, but what they look like in how they play out on the skin is not the same. And I do think that the performance of the Ellis palette, I think the shadows are different. I honestly do. Not all of them, but some of them. All right, and then Oxytocin. This is like one of my favorite colors out of the Machina palette. I love this palette. They're discontinuing it, which obviously the reason why is because nobody wants it, but I love it. I'm so glad I got it before it was too late. Okay, and then this is Deviant. These look very similar, but they're not. And then what was that? I feel like there's a color in the Sugar and Grunge palette, but I could be wrong. That plays out similarly to this. This is Drew. So this is what we've got so far. Literally the only color on here that is the same is this green right here. All of these colors have enough of a difference. I see these ones right here are like similar, but I can see like on my hand that they all have like distinct differences. But those are the only ones so far, is those reds and those greens. These are similar, but they're different enough to make me happy. There are no exact dupes. This is an exact dupe. This is an exact, the colors are exactly the same. Those bottom ones, they're all different enough for me. That's the Machina. Literally, the other side of this color story is nothing like. Okay, now we're down to the blends palette. This is where we're really gonna see some crossover. Okay, so we're gonna start with the greens. Basically, in everything else, the only two colors are these, as far as I'm concerned. Now, I'm going to wipe my arm off. So that's, we tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we tried 10 colors out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So out of 40 colors, we tried 10. And only one of them is an exact dupe. But we haven't even touched the blends palette yet. So I wanted to count them because so that we can see like what colors actually are similar. If you care about nuances and like having all different colors, like different shades of colors, different undertones of colors, I love that shit. So I'm all about it. I support it. It makes me happy. And now I'm going to go into the blends and see. So we already have 10 colors that seemed like comparable. But that still leaves 30. Well, no, it leaves 20-ish. Because we're not counting the grays and the browns. And actually we're not counting the shimmers either. So that actually leaves, okay, so 10. So 40 minus 9 is 31. Minus 1, 2, 3, 4 is 24 colors left over that weren't comparable in any of the other palettes. But really it's the blends palette that everybody's like, you know, obviously I'm going to do Submerged and 32 and Bubble Bath. I mean, swatch wise, the blends is not really. And then this is Membrane. And according to the swatch, those are pretty similar, but swatching, this color is way better in the Ellis palette. That was the second dip. And then doing 32. and Intelligence. And those are not the same. Now we're gonna do, so I think people probably think that this top row of greens looks similar, but only one color in that looks similar. So we're gonna do Remedy, this one, which in the monitor doesn't look anything like Regenerate. And I think I might have already tried this. And then this is Regenerate. Yeah, I definitely have already swatched this. Those look pretty similar, I guess. This one's way better performing in the swatch. That doesn't mean it's better performing. Honestly, from the videos that I've seen, the greens are really the stars of this palette. Oh my god. I have swatch all over me. We're gonna do Wildflower, which isn't even gonna be a comparison to Voltage, I guarantee it, but maybe it is. Here, I'll just stop talking and start swatching. How about that? How about that? And then this is Voltage. Oh. What I want to know is how come colors that are so similar are performing so differently? That's, I think, what the real question is. I'm just going to go in one more time because that looks like shit. So I think that the Wildflower out of the Blends palette is actually way better in that one, and that's probably one of the first swatches that I've done that I thought that the Ellis didn't look better in the swatch. But what I'm telling you is what I saw when I applied that purple on my eyes tonight. I'm not sure. And then Self Love. These pinks are not the same. So they're just not. Damn, that's... really pretty, holy shit. And then this is Perception out of the Ellis palette. Those are pretty close. The red in the blends, Self Love in the blends is better, I think. Swatch is better anyways. I don't know if it does better. So that's it. I feel like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors. So what did we say we had left? It was 31 minus 4 is 25. This is 5. So that still leaves, like, generally, girl math, that still leaves 20 colors that you would get in this palette that are nothing like anything that's in the rest of the palettes. So with that all in mind, you guys can make an educated decision. I'm not sorry that I bought it. I will be sorry that I bought it if it doesn't perform as well as the rest of them. Just because, like, if I got a palette that had all the same colors by Blend Bunny, but the formula was better, then I wouldn't give a fuck. I wouldn't care if it had all the same colors, if the formula was better. And I saw some swatches by Deandra Nicole that were, she said, for me, the Ellis palette shows up better on my darker skin. You know what I mean? So there's like things, it's like, you could tell that like some of the colors that were the same, but the formula was a little bit different, like it performed differently. And so honestly, I don't know if that's a good thing, because I tried to pack this purple on my lid and it was patchy. You guys will see my first impression video maybe before you see this, and so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm wearing this palette right now and you can't see what I'm talking about, but you guys will be able to see the process that I went through, and it could be my skin. I'm starting tretinoin right now, so like things are going weird with my skin. It might be like that I had patchiness in my skin or whatever, but I see how the palette like swatches way better. But like my experience with Blend Bunny shadows is that I've never had the issue that I had with the Blend Bunny palette on my first impression tonight. So I'm curious to see what those differences mean as far as how the shadows apply on the eyes. And also, if this color had every single Blend Bunny color in it that was the same and it performed better on the eyes, then I wouldn't care. I still would want all these like curated and themed palettes I wouldn't want them any less, but I would still want this because the formula is a little bit different. But if the formula is different and the shadows are more tightly packed, and I don't know, I can't tell. I need to investigate this more. But you still would get 20 new shadows in this palette. So I don't know if 60 bucks is worth 20 new Blend Bunny shadows, but I will say this, it's getting pretty hard to find a new Blend Bunny shade, isn't it? Maybe they're worth a lot. Maybe every time you get a new shade by Blend Bunny, it's actually very fucking valuable. They're like, it's like finding a dinosaur. Anywhoosies, I hope this was helpful. I hope that you guys saw some of the things. Let me know if there was any confirmation of things that you already knew, or like if we were all just kind of like looking at all these colors and then looking at all the Blend Bunny colors that we already have and going, there's no fucking way that I don't already have all those colors. Well, you don't. So a lot of these colors are similar, and it's basically like that with every Blend Bunny palette that comes out. We already have a lot of similar colors, but the differences are subtle and they're different enough for you to, you know that you're getting something that you don't exactly already have by Blend Bunny. Now, she's gonna have to come out with something pretty fucking compelling for me to need another Blend Bunny palette after this. This is like, no matter what you have in your Blend Bunny collection, this completes it. Like, this is the end of the circle. So, like, it's going to be more about curation, and also, like, hopefully this formula, it's not a different formula. I don't think it's a different formula. I think that there is some changes I think that it's pressed tighter. And so anyways, I'm going to look more into it. I hope this was super helpful. I hope that you guys found this useful. I hope that it helped you make a real decision about whether or not you want the Ellis palette. Because honestly, I wanted it. And I knew damn well I had a lot of these shades, but I still wanted it. And now that I see that it performs differently, like that could be for better or for worse, but if it performs differently, it doesn't have to be better. It just performs differently. If it doesn't perform worse, then I'm glad that I bought it. So anyways, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell because you can't wait to see what happens next. Hit the like button if you like this video, or if you just like my sparkling personality and my boyish charm, and hang out with me in the comments because I fucking love it. If you got like halfway through this video and you're like, oh my god, she is so pretty till she opens her big fucking mouth, then go check me out on Instagram. I don't talk as much on Instagram. And if you're like, don't sugarcoat it, Katie, why don't you tell us how you really feel, then go check out my Patreon because I don't hold anything back on my Patreon. Thank you guys so much for watching. You could have been anywhere, but you were here wasting your time with me, and I totally appreciate it. Later. Slayer.